Welcome back to the channel. My name is Daniel from Woodworking with Dash, and today we're going to make this wacky birdhouse. Look at this, guys. No angle was square. Every angle was wacky. Just like its maker, me, Wacky. So come on a journey, and we're going to make this wacky birdhouse right now. This birdhouse really does pop, as I say. Another wacky birdhouse from a wacky woodworker. Okay, like all my projects, I start off with a pattern. This is the pattern for the birdhouse. So there's nothing symmetrical about this at all. I make up all my projects on the go. I don't draw up anything. I just got an idea in my head, make a simple pattern, and then just take it from there. A lot of times I change my mind while I'm making them, but hey, that's the best part about being the creator. You can change your mind and do whatever you like. I make my birdhouses out of 15mm BC ply. It's got a B face on it, which is nice and smooth, and a C face on it, which is a bit rough. So I try to keep the C faces to the inside of the birdhouses, because you don't want the rough surface on the outside. So you're going to mark on your pattern top, so you know which way to put your pattern on every time, and you've got to do everything in pairs. Okay, the first trick is just to cut out two ends of the pattern. Struggling with my half sheet of ply now. The workshop's too small to get a full sheet in, so I cut it in half outside. The table saw works well for cutting ply. Just come up against the fence now. I designed my birdhouses so they're in like, this one 380 wide, so we get 3 out of a run, or 280, so I get 4 out of a run. And just marking them out now. Marking them out in pairs and cutting them on the bandsaw. And you see I'm so cramped I can't even stand in front of the bandsaw. I've got to stand to the side. And sanding them up on the sander. Make sure they're nice and smooth. Got the two ends cut out now. They're in pairs, so we've got the C face to the C face inside. And we've got B face outside. You see how I sanded them up on the sander? I held them together just in my hands and just sanded them smooth all the way around so they're the same shape now. Okay, the next thing I did, I decided what sort of windows I'm going to have in the birdhouse and the doorways. And they're going to be in all different angles, of course. So I've come up with something like that. There's going to be a round window at the top, a skew-if doorway at the bottom, and skew-if window, squarish window at the bottom too. So the first trick we've got to do now is to cut out the architrave for the round window. I'll probably put a round window on the front and back. And to do that, it's very hard to cut out a circle and leave a circle without a hole in it. I've got an old hole saw, but I leave 2 of the blades in there. So when I drill it, it will leave me a perfect circle. And then I'll put that on the ends, mark that out, and then I know hole to drill for the window. If that makes any sense. I don't make sense a lot, do I? I might change my channel to the woodworker that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it's all fun for me. We'll cut our architrave for the round window there first, so we need 2 of them. On the drill press, and there it is. Popped out of the hole saw and now drilling the through the ends. All done. And just rounding over all the inside edges now with a half round, just to soften it all. You don't want any birds getting splinters, do you? I've got the windows and doors cut out now. I've done some in the back too. So this is what we got. I made a little adjustment to the pattern. That corner there, I made the skew-if again. I thought it was too symmetrical. Alright, the next trick is to cut the side rails, which are going to be out of Merbu, but not the 7mm Merbu. 7mm Merbu is just too thin, because I've got to pin it from the front. So I've got some 18mm here, but it's a little bit heavy, so I'll plane it down to about 14 mil, 15 mil I suppose, and then I'll cut it into slats. I can go around the curvature of the birdhouse, and I'll round over each corner. Okay, just putting it through the thickness now, down to about 14 mil, both sides. There you go, we're done. Turn the thicknesser off, turn the blower off. And now cutting it down to about 28 mil, so I get 3 out of each piece. And so we're 90 mil thick, a couple of mils for the saw blade, and perfectly 28 mil. And rounding them over on the little router now in the vise. It's easier to put the router in the vise than try to hold the router. I've got all the merbau cut. I've got the window architraves all cut, and I've got the walls cut now and rounded over all the corners. And the small round window frames. Okay, so they're ready to stain now. Got to be very careful with the stain, not to get any stain on the timber. So stain them and then let them dry, and then you can work with them. Don't try to work with them, and wear gloves when you stain. It's gives away with your hands. It's just another day for you and me in paradise. Don't give up your day job, mate. Another day in the shed, guys. Where would you rather be? I'd rather be here. I don't want to go out in the real world anymore. I think I'm just going to stick to my shed. Okay. I got all the elements all stained up. The walls, the merbau for the walls, the round surrounds, and what I'm going to make the architrave out of all stained up. We'll put the architraves and the window surrounds on now, and then we can put it together. Yay! Just cutting the architrave now around the doorways, and sanding up the angle on the sander. It's a lot safer doing that. I've got the architraves and the surrounds all done. I intentionally made them a bit skew-if, but I didn't want everything to be fancy around the architraves. So some joints are mitered, some joints aren't, and they're just everything's a bit skew-if. This is the skew-if birdhouse. Oops, I got the back done too. So now it's time to put it together. I cut a top centre rail that's going to hold up the roof. So now it's time to put all the bottom walls together. So we just pin all the bottom walls on now with a bit of glue and some nails, and then we'll take it from there. Oh, I'm just gluing them and pinning them with the nails. I use Type 1-3 glue. It's the best glue I've found. The nails are just gun nails, about 35 mil long, I think they are. Easy as, guys. We're getting the birdhouse together now. Look at that. I've got the sides on, one higher than the other to fit in with the skew-if of the birdhouse. Everything's going to be skew-if. So one side's higher than the other. And now we'll cut the roof. And we'll splay the roof out a bit. Towards the end, I'll glue up some pieces up so the roof splays out a bit, I think. Just to give it some panache. You like that word? Panache. Okay, I'm going to make the roof out of some white oak that I've got left over from an old job. 25 mil thick. I cut it down to about 1/2 inch, and then I put it through the planer, cut it to size, and then we can start pinning it on from the top down. And then when we get to a certain point, we'll stop. And then I'll have to glue up like a section, probably 2 or 3 that curve up, so we can glue them on last and then pin them on. If that makes any sense. Again, I should take adequation, and they can't even say that, should take speaking lessons, shouldn't I? But you know something? I don't give a damn anymore. I'm 72 years old, and I do what I do, and I do what I do, and I like what I do, and the world can go get effed. See, I said it. Sorry. Oh, just after that rant, just cut him down to 12 mil. It's a bit of a rant there, wasn't it? You old bastard. Anyway, that's all fun. And through the thickness as I go. Brought them down to about 10 mil, I think. And rounding them all over on the router again. My little palm router. And they're pinning them all together, working from the top down. Just a bit of glue on each side there. And when you get to a certain point, just stop. And now cutting the last three on an angle, but that makes them curl up. I think I cut them at about 15 degrees, I think. So 15, 15, 15, and then they curl up. I've already had two glued together overnight, and then just, this is the last getting glued onto the body of the birdhouse. Bit of masking tape. A new day. I've glued the roof up. That came out great, didn't it? Look at those angles. Magnificent. Peel the tape off. The back of the birdhouse and the front. Looking very nice. Okay, the next trick we're going to do, I do like those curves. They come out great. Okay, the next trick we're going to do is to do the topper. So that's got to be made out of, I'll make that out of the darker merbau, stain that dark. And then the bracket to hold the chains so we can hook it up. And that's got to be all screwed down into the top beam so everything can take the weight. We'll do that next, and then we have to do the base. And then we got to dress it up. We might put some perches, some, I don't know. As I said, I'll work things out as I go. So, but I do one thing at a time. I do the topper first, and then the base. Cool. Just cutting down the topper now with a bit too long. I'll sand that up on the sander again on the edge. Cutting down the bracket that will hold the chain. Just cutting the corner off each end. Watch your fingers down. And drilling for the perch now. 5/8 hole. And I made the perch go all the way through to the other side of the birdhouse. And I put a bracket in there to hold it, so it can't move. And pinning on the bottom trim around the base. All done, now spraying it up. Coming up great, guys, look at that. Very nice. Drill some holes in the corner there to let the water out. There it is, all done. In the sunshine. The Wacky birdhouse from the Wacky birdhouse maker. That came out great, did it? Look at that. All different angles, nothing square. What a great looking birdhouse. Got to put a chain on so I can hang it from my bird holder. Wow, it's great, guys. It's great. It came out great. Okay, guys, thanks for being with me today. And please join me next time where we'll be making something else wacky. But you know me, I like making unusual. See you guys.